I literally named the watching and reviewing of a terrible film every Friday Freaky Friday. Do you know what it takes to make me hate Lindsay Lohan? This. The single greatest sin against Irish people since Oliver Cromwell.
Now's the time to speak up.
Oh god, and I watched it in the week of St. Patrick's Day as well. You know why? Because that's how much alcohol I needed to get through this. In this one case, it was definitely a dependency for me. Anyway, they could have at least had the good grace of God to have her go to Ireland and fall in love with an Irish person, but no, they shipped her from America and some fucker over from England so that they could fall in love in Ireland. Monsters! Irish Wish stars Lindsay Lohan and Ed Spielers as the editor for a famous dick Irish author and her English photographer love interest. She's in love with rich author with beautiful Irish estate. Her bitchy friend steals him away, and then a few months later they're getting married in Ireland on this estate, and Lindsay comes over, and then she meets this English guy, and then she makes a wish on a magic Irish wishing chair. That she was the one marrying the Irish guy instead of her friend, and then she is, and then she realizes she's not actually that into him, and she starts flirting with the English guy after finally getting her wish, while her friend who was meant to be marrying him starts flirting with the guy she was going to be marrying anyway. My god, I'm dying inside. So in this film, there is only one of the main characters is Irish. He's played by a Welsh guy. If you want to find an Irish person on this cast list, you've got to boom, 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 dip all the way down. Were they trying? Were they actually out to offend every Irish person? Or are Americans just that lacking in basic thought? This is just an absolute wastage of a film. As if the idea of Lindsay Lohan comes to Ireland, does Hallmark rom-com bullshit didn't sound bad enough. I have the biggest pet peeve for films that do like parallel universe stuff. That is just it's so irritating to me. I really hate that. We spend the majority of the time in this other version of the universe where she doesn't even know what's going on. There is the most cringy scene ever where they ask, "Oh, so how did he propose?" And it turns out that she'd proposed to him, but she had no idea. She was just sitting there going, It's awful. And that's just the whole thing about the film. And also it means that at the end of the film, when you can vaguely guess what's going to happen at the end of the film, none of the stuff that happened, like her meeting and getting to know the guy who she kind of falls for, had actually happened. Oh! Another of the things that is just awful about this is that they're trying at the same time to do actually, your friend that was meant to be marrying him in the original universe, she's better suited to him than you are. They're trying to do that story at the same time as the story where the guy is just a huge dick. And I don't get, firstly, she's been working with this guy as his editor for years, and he's not hiding like any second of his time in this film that he is a massive prick. So how has she not realized? But also, her friend is kind of on board with all of his being a huge dick and being horrible and his family being awful. Why are you friends with this person or working for this person? Lindsay Lohan's just entire life, all of her life choices, I think, are awful. This is the epitome of the old phrase, at least it can't get worse, because every single horrible thing that happens, not just the stuff against Irish culture or not having Irish people in this cast for the vast majority of the cast, or any of that like basics outside stuff, but the story itself, the acting, the writing, every element of this film is so much worse than it should be able to be. And I just keep going, oh, well, at least it can't get worse than this. And then it dips lower and lower, in my opinion. And it's just awful. Like, I don't get it. Did they really just go, Lindsay Lohan's ginger? She's basically Irish. So no Irish people, a story that really seems to be set in a fictional country. She goes like to the cliffs of Moher and is all like, oh, it's such a beautiful, wondrous place. And then the Irish guy who's meant to be the dickhead is like, why did you go to that tourist trap? And that's exactly what it is. It's not that nice. It's so annoying. It's so frustrating. And Americans really do. When they set films in Ireland, it does not feel like a real place. Also, it was like sunny in one scene. Unrealistic. So it's just very frustrating. And also the majority of the film takes place in magical wish worlds, which is just such a shite hole of a way to tell a story, and means that the guy that she falls in love with, she can never tell him for the rest of their lives together how they fell in love or met. Great. It's just awful. And the ending, oh my god, I'm not even going to get into it. But dear lord. This has less sense to it than a Hallmark film. Less. less sense than a Hallmark film. I'm starting to think Lindsay Lohan might be evil because there's only so much cruelty and horror you can introduce into the world before you move from dumb American trying to keep their career going into monster territory, but it's whatever. Anyway, I'm giving When You Order Your Irish from Wish 1 star. There are all sorts of terrible films out there, and every week on Friday I watch one, yep. And if you buy a channel membership, you get to vote on which one I'm going to watch every week and just cause me more and more horror until I go completely insane.